And off the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
5 minutes after 9.
You're inside the Consumer Hour with Nora Gay Banton.
Good morning to you. It is Tuesday, June 24, 2025. We are alive and well, and for that we give God thanks. Good morning to you. If you're listening on the 90 FM band, 90.3, 90.5, 90.7, and 90.9, thank you so much for joining us on your radio. If you are listening and watching on our YouTube channel, good morning to you. The channel is Nationwide 90 FM Live 2. That's Nationwide 90 FM LIVE with a number 2 beside that. And I want to say good morning to Juliet Sanchez, who's first in the YouTube chat this morning. Errol Townsend is also there. Good morning, Errol. Monique Hunter, KMC. Good morning to you. Hugh Donaldson, Monica Callum, Orville Virtue. Good morning to you. Ines Campbell Murray, MS. Ryder 40, Sonia, good morning to you. Michael Gopal, Rupert Wilson, and all the others over there on YouTube. Top of the morning to you. If you're listening from our mobile app, which is available for free on the Google Play and the Apple App Store, morning to you. And those on our website, the Listen Now option there, top of the morning to you as well. Thank you for making it Nationwide 90 FM. This morning, we are not in studio. We're outside. We are in St. Catherine. We are, all right, the address they gave us is Lot 4, Fairmead Farms, Angels, Spanish Town, St. Catherine. But I will tell you, we are right beside GC Foster College, all right? So I'll give it to you easier than they gave it to us, all right? And we are here at the MJS Industrial and Technology Park. We're here for the official opening of this park, $50 million development. And so we'll hear lots more about that later on. But in the meantime, inside the Consumer Hour, we have a packed show for you. If you are on YouTube, you may be able to see I have two lovely ladies right beside me this morning. I have the Consular Queen herself, Nordia Barrett Lewis, and I also have Dione Winter Funday. Good morning to you, ladies.
Good morning, Nora. Thank you for having us. Good morning, YouTube.
Good morning, Nora. And of course, Attorney Funday is the immigration boss. It's the Consular Queen and the immigration boss.
All right. So we're well covered. The Consular Queen and the immigration boss, they are here with us. And especially in this, well, how do you put it? What kind of climate do we describe it as?
Trying. It's a trying climate.
where immigration, especially to the U.S., is concerned, these conversations cannot be enough. We can't have enough of these conversations, and so I'm happy to have you both here. Now let's just get into it. What are the things that people, especially those going to the U.S., whether for visit or you are going up after being filed for, what are the things that people need to pay attention to right now?
All right, because I have my guest with me today, I'm going to give her the start.
Oh,
All right.
thank you. What is it? Age before beauty? All right, we'll go with that. Good morning, everyone. Attorney Deani Winter Funde here. And Nora, thank you again for having us. To go straight to your questions, what are some things that people should be aware of? I would say use your visa for the purposes intended. Let me repeat that. If you get the little B1, B2, if you go visit Disney World, God Disney World.
Yeah.
You have no business working in a state outside of where you're supposed to be at. So whatever the visa is, whether it's a H2B, whether it's a B1, B2, whatever it is, here's my
Tune in to Cliff Hughes Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on June 24 when Spanish Town steps into the future. It's the official opening of the MJS Industrial and Technology Park at Lot 4 Ferry Mead Farms. This development is Jamaica's largest special economic zone, already creating 3,500 jobs and setting the stage for over 5,000 more in BPO, logistics, and food manufacturing. Be there as the Prime Minister and business leaders mark this historic moment. So tune in to Cliff Hughes Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on June 24. It's the official opening of the MJS Industrial and Technology Park. Catch the live stream on our YouTube channel at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by the Musson Group and Michael Sobrati.
Welcome back to the Consumer Hour. We had some technical difficulties there, but we are back up. I understand that you lost us for a bit, but we're back up. So I'll ask the immigration boss to pick up. We lost you at the B1 B2 visa, working on the B1 B2 visa.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah, all right. Sorry about that, folks. But just keep in mind, I just want to reiterate and point out, use whatever visa, whatever travel document you have for the United States, use it for the purposes intended. For example, you have a B1, B2. That is not for you to go work at your sister's auntie's cousin restaurant in the summertime. That's where you start to get in problems. Use it for the purposes intended. If you're on the H2B program, you go straight to where your employer is. So my whole point of this, Nordia, is to say use the visa for the purposes intended.
All right, so let me address the immigrant part of it, having to deal with the green card. What does the green card holder need to be mindful of? There are a number of things that the green card holder needs to be mindful of. The number one thing, you are not a legal permanent resident until you enter the United States. Once you have entered the United States and you have received your green card and you decide that you are traveling, you need to stay within the constraints of the rules and regulations that governs you as a legal permanent resident. Do not go outside of the United States for extended periods of time. If you stay too long, you can walk away from your permanent residency. That can just leave you, and that's something that you do unintentionally. Do not travel with an expired green card. If you happen to be outside of the United States, if you're in Jamaica right now or anywhere in the Caribbean right now, and you have lost your green card or it has expired and you need to re-enter the United States, you need to reach out to Barrett Immigration for us to assist you in getting back in the United States.
Talk to me about travel, especially for vacation. Especially now, persons may be wary of traveling for too long on their B1, B2. For example, it's summer now, and many people may have an extended break, especially teachers. They have all summer to take vacation. Some persons may have longer than the summer for vacation. How do you advise persons to travel, especially for periods longer than 2-3 weeks?
Go ahead, Nordia.
Okay, so, and I'm going to answer from the perspective of a former educator as well. Or I'm still an educator. All right, so when we look at, let's say, the teacher, when we look at police officers, when we look at the firefighters, when we look at certain role, government jobs, there are vacation periods that are lengthy.
Yes.
However, they are only lengthy over a certain duration of time. So a teacher will get 4 months in 5 years, after 5 years. That you can explain traveling 4 months after 5 years. So twice on that visa, you may have traveled 4 months. Okay, you can explain it. But how do you explain, as an educator, not being on vacation, traveling from July, and you're still not back until the end of October? So once you can't explain those things, then they are going to be interpreted as something else.
Yes.
So again, you want to use your visa for the intended purposes. If you are employed, there's no way you're going to spend extended period of times inside the United States having a job. Which job gives you those extended time each year to travel? And of course, the consulate isn't stupid. They understand the different countries in which they operate. They know the laws that govern our countries. They understand the workplace setup within each country that they operate. So when they're making a decision at CBP, Custom and Border Patrol, they know what they're doing because they are familiar with what regulates and governs us outside of the United States as residents and citizens of another country.
Yes.
And even to take that a step further, what we have seen, in my 21 years of doing immigration law, we have individuals coming in with their phone loaded with information, telling this person where they're going, even though they have a visitor's visa. Now let's start there.
Yes.
They have a visitor's visa, B1, B2, whichever one you want to classify it as. They're coming in and they have their phone loaded with lots of text messages. And yes, I'm gonna get a little job, and they're gonna pay me $250. That those things. Remember, once you enter a port of entry for the United States, they can take your phone, they can take your laptop, they can take your computer, they can open your suitcase, they can see the envelope that have your birth certificate, your graduation from high school, your graduation from college, the divorce paper. They can see everything.
Yeah.
And that goes back to what I said originally. What is your intention? What is your intention? Were you really coming to go to Disney World, or were you coming with no intent of returning? So use that visa and make sure you can explain that 4-month stint. You know what? I worked here for 5 years. I have a 4-month vacation. Those are what we call explained absence.
Okay.
So we should be able to explain those.
We have a program on Mondays where we deal with things similar to this matter. And we had a caller yesterday who was calling on behalf of a relative. The relative is unemployed. They have a visitor's visa, and they want to visit a friend for 3 months. With the fact that she's unemployed, how do you navigate that situation where questions may arise re your visit?
Okay, so just listening to the question already, it sounds somewhat questionable because you are unemployed, and I want to assume that you are seeking employment. Right. So if you're seeking employment, you do not want to be outside for any extended duration of time. Not because they're going to ask you if you're working, but because it is going to suggest you're not working and you're planning to stay 3 months.
Yeah.
That looks a little bit
Suspect.
spooky.
Yeah.
Or even to add to that, okay, who's going to pay your rent in the US for 3 months? Who's paying your living expenses back here in Jamaica for 3 months? Where are you going to stay? What are you going to eat? What if the person you're going to put you out? So more than likely that person comes to a port of entry, she may be turned around, because for 3 months you're going to be in the United States, you're unemployed. How are you going to eat? Where are you going to sleep?
Yeah.
What happens if there's an emergency? So that makes that person even not admissible.
Let's take it to the US now. For persons who are in the US, they may have overstayed their visa. They're there now, and because of what's happening, especially with the current administration, they are trying to get themselves together. What advice do you have for those persons?
To be very honest, some of them dog name them stuff. I'm not pretty top.
Yeah.
Because if you are in the US now,
Yeah.
and you've gone through how many administrations? So let's assume you've been there under Obama. You did it under Trump 1. You did it under Biden 1, Biden 2. And you did it under Trump 1 and Trump 2 come catch you and you still ask them question there. You have to reach out to the consular queen because you're in a little bit of a pickle. Why?
Yeah.
It's not that the US laws have changed, it's that they're being enforced and
Yeah.
heavily enforced. What in the past, before this inauguration in February, what in the past that we see never really bothered immigration that much, now it hurt them head. ICE busy, ICE active.
Yeah.
All those regular interviews when the marriage-based green card, we meet one of somebody and we are going for the interview. It used to be a little bit of a formality, not anymore. It's a third-rate interrogation now. So a lot have changed. All is not lost. I would really advise individuals to do what we call an immigration checkup. Just sit with an immigration lawyer. It does not have to be me, or you sit with an immigration consultant, or sit with somebody on our team and just lay it out on the table, like you said.
Yeah.
What I find culturally with a lot of us, we are big water. Big water can't boil cow foot. So they'll call into this program. They call in every program yesterday. They call now another program next week, and then it'll hurt them because they can't find them way. You know why you can't find your way? Yeah, big water. You need to sit down with professionals who have been doing this for a long time, like Nordia and myself, and say, this is what is going on with me. This is what I've tried, and this is what happens if I do nothing. And let us try to sort a way for you, a
Yes.
professional pathway.
Let's talk now to those Jamaicans who are here and they have all intent to find their way by whatever means. I usually say, if you can't get there legally, stay until you can. But some people, them see John, Tom, Mary, and Patsy do it, and they work out for them, and them all right, them they are foreign and live life, and so they think it's okay to find this way as well. Let's talk to those persons.
All right, so big water can boil cow skin. I'm going to tell you that ice is not in my freezer. Ice is very much active. Ice is active.
I love that.
Yeah, ICE is active, and they have now an increased quota to deport 3,000
Yeah.
per month now,
yeah,
per day,
per day.
per day now, right? Prior to this administration, or a year ago, it was significantly less than this, right? Do not come and add yourself to that 3,000. And it's getting quite aggressive because a part of what is happening is not so much the enforcement, but how you are sometimes handled. I mean, don't put yourself in a situation where you get handled inhumane, and also the disgrace that comes with it. I mean, that's something that you can avoid. If you feel like you want to visit the United States because you have no one filing for you, come to the consular queen. Let us do an assessment with you. If you are not yet ready, we can sit down, chart a plan. What would make you ready?
Yes.
in order to do an application, because you don't want to just do an application and get yourself in problems. And guess what? Fraud and misrepresentation, it gets in the way when somebody do get married to you. So you want to avoid all of that. Just do things the right and legal way. You have the support here.
All right. One scenario just before I allow you to talk about what you do and what you offer and how people can reach out to you. A situation came to my attention recently. A mother applying for a visitor's visa for her daughter. She first time applying for the daughter. They have the option to do it without the interview because she's a minor or whatever. But the embassy reached out to say that she needs to come in. The mother is concerned because the last time the mother traveled, she got major questioning because she was traveling for a little time, more than 2 or 3 weeks, I think. And she was questioned about where she's going and how she's going to stay so long and if she's going to stay on her friend's couch for so long and whatever. So she did get in, though, to the U.S., did her vacation and came back. But she's concerned. What could be the possible reasons for them to call her daughter in her and her daughter in for an interview?
All right, so first of all, let me take this question. And madam, if you're listening, the number is 470-593-8448. You need a consultation with the consular queen. And guess what? I know you have provided some information, but there's much more that I would need to know in order for us to sit and prepare properly for that interview. A lot of the times what the interviewer wants to do is to satisfy themselves. As you notice, they did not outright deny the visa and then just send it back. They asked for you to come in. So they want to do a little questioning to make sure that, this decision that they are making is the right decision. What are they going to question about? We're not so sure. So unless we sit together, we do a consultation, I look at her travel history, understand what's happening behind the travel history, then I would say to her, book a consultation, let's sit, have a chat in order to resolve something like this.
Okay. All right. So talk to us now about what you do, the services you offer, and how persons can reach out to you, both of you.
Okay. So again, I'm Nordia Barrett Lewis. I am the consular queen, and I am CEO and founder of Barrett Immigration. I do United States immigration. So if you're looking at humanitarian, if you're looking at family base, if you are looking at the consular processing, whether you're looking at visas or otherwise, if you're looking at asylum, then I am the consular queen, and you can reach me at 470-593-8448. And I'll now pass over to the immigration boss, who happens to be my lead attorney as well.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. All right. So I am attorney Diani Winterfunde. Born here in Jamaica, attended school here in Jamaica, but now I specialize in United States immigration law. So I spend a lot of my time fighting in deportation. So all the individuals that are in the United States that are being asked to depart, they get representation.
Yeah.
In addition, I am a part of Nordia's team, the Consular Queen Academy, and also Barrett Immigration. So we do a 360 approach to immigration. So all things immigration, they can reach out to us.
All right. So give us the numbers again. I know we can reach out.
470-593-8448. That's 470-593-8448 or BarrettImmigration.com.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Really informative session. And I hope that the persons who are listening, and if you have any issues or concerns, then you can also reach out to Barrett Immigration. That was Consular Queen Nordia Barrett Lewis and the immigration boss herself, Diani Winterfunde. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
We take a break and come back with more.
Decorate and redecorate your space with water-resistant, colorful, and fast-drying paints from Edgechem Paints. The time by Edgechem Paints, changing lives 1 gallon at a time, is...
It's 9:30.
Outperform, outlast. With top performance. Jackama. Reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electricians. Fancy select tools, free parts and free repairs. 3 parts, free repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-61114. Delta Supply, we service what we sell.
In Jamaica, your rights are protected by our Constitution. From the right to education to freedom of expression, every citizen deserves respect and dignity. But remember, with rights come responsibilities. Let's uplift and respect each other and stand against injustice. Together, we can make Jamaica a better place for ourselves and future generations. Know your rights. Embrace your responsibilities. This message was brought to you by the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs.
You want to win? Then just bet. Bet on the game, no stress, no sweat. And win big in the Wanna Bet Just Bet promotion. Spend $1,500 or more on one Just Bet ticket and complete the entry form at promotions.supremegames.com for your chance to win. Third place gets Beats by Dre. Second place gets an iPhone 15 and AirPods Pro. And first place gets a 65-inch TV and a soundbar. Promotion runs May 16 to July 20, 2025. Grand draw July 25, 2025. Authorized under Section 58. Of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Spectrum Insurance Brokers provides quality insurance coverage and risk management services. The time by Spectrum Insurance Brokers Limited, setting the industry standards, is
9:32. Good morning. You're back here inside the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM. I am Nora Gay Banton. We're outside this morning at the MJS Industrial and Technology Park. We're here for the official opening of this Industrial and Technology Park. And later on during Cliff News Online, you'll hear much more about what happens here at the Industrial and Technology Park. But in the meantime, inside the Consumer Hour, we're going to bring to you now Inside Customs.
Welcome to Inside Customs, brought to you by the Jamaica Customs Agency, country above self.
Welcome again to Inside Customs here on Nationwide 90 FM, a product of Nationwide 90 FM and the Jamaica Customs Agency. My name is George Davis. Did promise you an encore following the program last week. Well, not really an encore, as a second installation. And we're not repeating what we said last week. We're moving on. And it's the conversation surrounding the Proceeds of Crime Act, POCA, its relationship with the Jamaica Customs Agency, how it's useful to the JCA, and what it sets out in terms of the movement of cash into the country, whether you're traveling by sea or air. Last week, my guest was Senior Legal Officer at the Jamaica Customs Agency, Francois Knight, and the man has found time to return for more. Good day again, Francois. Welcome to Inside Customs.
Hi, George. Thanks again for having me.
All right, good. Last week, we were speaking about the quantum of cash that is allowable by law for a person to come into the country with, and also what the limit is, $10,000 US. Many people see that on the C5 form and then quarrel because they say, well, I was coming in with 100,000 Jamaican and the agents seized this. This is not right because that's not what the form says. Can you explain that for the benefit of my listeners?
Sure, George. So simply put, under POCA, the amount of cash that can be seized by a customs officer is any cash that is above the minimum amount. The minimum amount under POCA is 100,000 Jamaican dollars. Mm-hmm. So even though the C5 form says I am not carrying cash or monetary instruments over $10,000 US, and you are to tick yes or no.
Yes.
if you are carrying 100,000, the equivalent of 100,000 Jamaican dollars, the customs officer can still seize that cash if he has reasonable grounds for suspecting that the cash is recoverable property, which means it's probably criminal in origin.
So you hear that clearly, yeah? The minimum amount is 100,000 Jamaican or its US equivalent or whichever currency. Customs agency, if they have suspicions that these may be ill-gotten gains, can hold on to that cash. So don't be detained by the 10,000 US dollars, which of course is the upper limit. All right. Last week we teased and told the listeners that they should return this week for an explanation of what happens when the cash is seized by customs. Some people wonder, do they destroy the cash if they think it's ill-gotten gains? Do they channel it somewhere? And I put that one to you, Mr. Senior Legal Officer. What does happen when the cash is seized by customs? What happens next?
All right, George. So I'll just take you through the process from the point of seizure.
Very well.
So what happens when you enter the country with cash, for example? If the customs officer reasonably suspects that the cash is probably criminal, he will seize the cash and he will prepare a form known as the receipt for seized cash, and he will issue it to the person from whom the cash was seized. While the customs officer continues to have reasonable grounds for suspecting that cash, he may detain it for an initial period of 72 hours. That's 3 days.
Yes.
During those 3 days, the person from whom the cash was seized is encouraged to submit documentation establishing the legitimate source and intended use of the cash. So at this point in time, the cash is held at the Jamaica Customs Agency for safekeeping. It is properly stored in a vault.
Yes.
During the initial 72-hour period. POCA provides for the lodgement of that cash as soon as reasonably practicable after the 72 hours in an interest-bearing account. So if documentation is not submitted in relation to the cash within the first 72 hours, the cash is then lodged in an interest-bearing account. Currently, the cash is lodged in an interest-bearing account at the Asset Recovery Agency, and it is held there pending the outcome of the matter. Now, after the 72-hour period, if no documentation is submitted or the documentation submitted is insufficient, then the customs officer, if he still has reasonable suspicion in relation to the cash, he will make an application, typically before a justice of the peace, for an order for continued detention of the cash up to 3 months. If that order is granted by the justice of the peace and the 3 months the time is extended by 3 months for an investigation to be conducted, then that is what happens. A customs investigator now investigates the cash and determines whether there is enough evidence that he has reasonable grounds for believing, not suspecting now, that the cash is recoverable property. Again, what that means is that the cash is probably criminal in origin. If there is sufficient evidence to establish that, then the customs investigator, who is an authorized officer under POCA, makes an application before the parish court for forfeiture of the seized cash. So that is what happens to the cash.
Right. So the last step is to go to the court with the JCA and its agents, takes you to the court to ask the court to grant them possession of the cash that has been seized from you, which you have failed to satisfactorily prove that the cash is from legitimate means. Am I getting it correct?
Correct. And the forfeiture application is then ventilated in court, and an order is made ultimately by the parish judge either for forfeiture of the cash or release of the cash.
Just restate for me, Francois, the burden of responsibility on the person involved in this matter to prove that the cash is theirs. When you speak about submission of documents, what kind of documents are we talking about?
So the type of documents we're looking for typically are bank statements, pay slips. Those are to establish the source of the cash, for example. In relation to the intended use, sometimes persons will say that they are using the cash to purchase a property, for example. So we'll ask for a copy of a sales agreement or something like that. Receipts, invoices. Sometimes they'll say that the cash is being used for construction of a house. So we'll ask for any indication in the form of receipts or invoices that they may have that would show that intention.
Right. So if I say, for instance, then that, a friend or a family member has been saving money on my behalf in the United States or in Canada over some time, then I must be able to provide the statements to support how that money would have accumulated over time, correct?
Correct. Or we would ask for a notarized copy of a statement from the person who was saving cash on that person's behalf, and so on.
Right.
Ultimately, to give a declaration corroborating your account.
And if I say, boy, I sold 5 cars and that's how I came in possession of the cash, then you'll want to see the paperwork.
Correct.
There you go. All right. So what then at the end of it all would you advise persons to do who are traveling across borders with cash up to or over the specified amount? How do I get my legitimate cash, which is over the limit, into the country? What do I do?
All right. So first thing I would recommend is that you are forthcoming and truthful in your declaration when you're entering the country if you're transporting cash. Now, we touched on it earlier, but most persons are familiar with the C5 form as it relates to declaring cash of at least $10,000 US. But like I was explaining, under POCA, you can seize any amount that is greater than 100,000 Jamaican dollars.
Yes.
Once the officer has reasonable suspicion in relation to the cash. So if you're transporting any cash into the country above that amount, I would recommend that you are truthful and forthcoming when completing your C5 form and making that declaration to the customs officer if and when you are asked.
Also, I'd like to say, just to add, that if it is that your cash is seized by the customs agency based on suspicion, it's not reason for you to panic. As long as you can prove that the cash is legitimate, you'll be fine, is perhaps what you'd add to that as well, Francois.
Definitely. I would definitely add that. If you are, there's no reason to panic. The suspicion of the customs officer relates to the cash and not the person himself. So if you are able to, I would suggest if you're carrying a large amount of cash, either bring with you documentation which adequately explains its legitimate source and intended use, and have it at the ready and be prepared to provide it to the customs officers if you are asked.
Excellent. Education 101 here on Inside Customs on Nationwide 90 FM. Senior Legal Officer at the Jamaica Customs Agency, Francois Knight. Thank you very much, my friend.
Thanks again, George, for having me. It was a pleasure.
All right, that's the program. We'll be back next week.
That was Inside Customs, brought to you by the Jamaica Customs Agency, country above self.
Jamaica, it's live and direct back again. Saturday, June 28th, live in concert. Brian McKnight.
Hey everyone, it's Brian McKnight.
And Drew Hill.
It's your boy Cisco and Drew Hill.
Taking place at the Constant Spring Golf Club. Get your tickets now. Sponsored by Supreme Ventures Limited, Courtly Hospital Group, Mothers, Island Grill, CPJ, J. Ray and Nephew Limited, Hertz, Budget Car Rental, Mayberry Investments, and main event. It's live and direct. Gates open at 7 p.m. Showtime 8 p.m. at the Constant Spring Golf Club.
June 28th, Kingston. I'll see you there.
Forget ordinary, think Liqui-Moly. Get a 15% discount on all Liqui-Moly oils and additives from April 25th to July 30th at all Burt's Auto Parts locations. Buy 4 or more Liqui-Moly engine oils or 4 transmission oils, you get a free LM40 all-purpose cleaner. But hurry up, the offer runs while stocks last and conditions apply. Forget ordinary, think Liqui-Moly. And remember, it hurts if you don't check Burt's.
The gateway for Jamaica's athletes to several international competitions, including the World Athletics Championships in Tokyo, Japan, opens from Thursday, June 26 to Sunday, June 29 for the J3A National Junior and Senior Championships, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. each day. The biggest names in local track and field, with the men's section including the likes of Olympic silver medalist Shane Thompson, Oblique Seville, Akeem Blake, Antonio Watson, Christopher Taylor, Rashid Broadbell, Olympic champion Roger Stoner, Rodrindra Campbell, Wayne Pinna, and Romaine Beckford. The female division will be no less fascinating, with 2-time reigning world champion Sharika Jackson, Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, the Clayton Twins, Tia and Tina, Alana Reed, Akira Nugent, Rochelle Clayton, and Shanika Ricketts. The action will be sizzling.
Fill all your prescriptions, get cosmetics and other pharmaceutical items at Mannings Hill Pharmacy, located at 34A Mannings Hill Road, Kingston. Telephone 924-6280. At Mannings Hill Pharmacy, they stock all the hard-to-get medication. The time by Mannings Hill Pharmacy is...
It's 9:45. Good morning, good morning, good morning. You are back here inside the Consumer Hour on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Nora Gay Banton. We are here in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. We are right beside GC Foster College at the MJS Industrial and Technology Park. A park that is a $50 million development done by the Musson Group, and it is the largest special economic zone in St. Catherine. We are here for the official opening of this industrial and technology park. Of course, later on during Cliff Hughes Online, we will hear much more about that. I believe the Prime Minister should be here, if I'm not mistaken. So, we will hear much more later on. But in the meantime, we will, for the remainder of the program, take your calls. So if you have any consumer-related matters, give us a call and let's see how best we can assist you. Smithy is on the line. Good morning, Smithy.
Good morning, Nora. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
Not so good, Nora. Just tricky. Flow. I am sick and tired. Nora, I place, I don't listen to no other station but Nationwide.
Yeah.
And I use the internet radio. And Nora, I placed a credit on my phone from last night and up until this very moment I can't access WhatsApp, YouTube, your radio station, nothing at all.
When you say you put a credit, you put a data plan on as well? Okay.
A plan on, and I cannot use it, and this has been happening from Sunday.
You know?
It was bad all along, but it has not worked. Connectivity is not working. The range, the signal, the thing over the phone that shows you when you're in range,
yes,
that is completely zero. And when and the one that shows you that your data is on, it whenever time it comes up, the range goes down. Whenever time the range comes up, the data signal is nowhere to be found.
So when you got the confirmation message though that the plan is on,
I do have a plan, and that is why I can call you straight, because you get that
the credits, the minutes as well. Right. Did you and you're saying that the LTE or 3G or whatever comes up, you are not seeing it?
Nothing, not seeing it. Well, you know what I have to be doing to get it? I have to be rebooting the phone.
And it will come on for a little?
Yes, I have to reboot this. I have to reboot the phone. It comes on, and then in seconds, it's gone.
You know, you are not the first person I am hearing having this issue with Flow, especially where it concerns the data plan. I think you're about the fourth person now I'm hearing talking about adding a data plan to the device, and it's not working even immediately or soon after putting on the plan.
Not working. And the thing about it, this has happened already, and I do not get any rebate. Who is going to give me my data that I don't have any access in use?
And how long is the plan for?
It's a 5-day plan.
5 day. You know,
so it's going to give me back my money.
And I don't think I can answer that question either, because.
And then Nora, what's the use in giving me back the plan when it still can't use?
Yeah. Where are you located?
I'm in Manchester. I'm in the south part of Manchester.
South Manchester. Flow.
No,
there is.
From when I want to listen to the programs, and I can't use nothing at all from last. I'm tired. I'm tired. If I go into Mandeville Town, I can't call anybody. I can't use my data to browse, do nothing at all. And this issue has just started happening since burial. It's 1 year now almost that we are going through this.
Flow. Your customers are becoming increasingly frustrated with your service and the lack thereof. Persons are unable to access their plans that they are paying their money to put on the credit to activate. They can't make no call. They can't browse. They can't WhatsApp. They can't do anything. Flow. Your customer here from South Manchester has activated a plan, a 5-day plan, and she has not been able to make good use of it since it has been activated. This is not the first person I'm hearing with an issue with the plan. I've heard this complaint before. Flo, if there is an issue with your data plans, please say something to your customers. And I've said it on this program already. Flo, I get the sense that Flo has this attitude of, we don't care. I don't want to say that is the case, but this is the impression we get. If I open the phone lines and say, just talk to me about Flo, I guarantee you we won't have any time within the entire hour to take everybody's call because of the amount of issues persons are having with Flo. Have you tried calling customer care to see if there's a specific...
Nora, that is another issue all by itself. That's another thing because they give us robots to talk to and the robots can't understand us. And I can't understand the robots either. They keep telling you if you do whatever, say this and say that, and you say whatever, and nothing. They just keep repeating because they are robots. We need some humans to talk to who can make us understand what is going on. And Flo needs to stop this crap. Flo needs to stop. If it means that I have to take up a placard and go out there and campaign against Flo, I will do it because I will tell people, do not go with Flo. Find another way out. Because Flo is not cutting it. I don't know what kind of flow they are flowing, but they're certainly not flowing my way. They're certainly not flowing in a way that I can flow. So I don't know what kind of flow they are flowing.
I'm gonna ask you to stay on the line, Michelle. If we can send this issue here to our contacts at Flo. I don't know if Daniel can offer any assistance in any way, but let's see if we can get some assistance with this individual case.
I need to use my data now. I need to use it now. It's not a want. I need to use it now, and I can't use it.
All right, stay on the line and give the information to Michelle. Let her know when you activated the plan and when you've been trying to use it. And let's see if we can get some assistance for you. But Flo, you are having a major problem where customer service is concerned. And if you have any care left in you, I urge you, Flo, to address this customer service issue. It is a major problem. And as I said before, especially where this AI talk back customer care response is concerned, where your customer care line is, I am saying, one, I understand that eventually technology will be moving in this direction, or technology is moving in this direction, and that's the direction we will have to go with it. However, you must assess your customer base. And if so many people have a major problem with this computer thing that they're talking to, maybe we are not ready yet. Maybe it needs to be phased in a little bit, at a less aggressive rate than it is right now. but something is not working where customer service is concerned, Flo. And if you have any care left in you, I urge you to address this customer service issue. I don't know what that will do, but I don't know. And I just got a message here that says to the Flow customers, tell them to make a call first so that the plan can work. I know this works sometimes. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So if you're having difficulty, this seems to work for some persons. When you activate the plan, try to make a call first, and then it seems as if some things may work after that. Try that and see. I hope that works for you. It shouldn't be that way though, because once the plan activated, it must work. But here we are trying to do our own thing because Flow is not responding. So try to make a call when you activate the plan and see if everything else will start to work. Thank you so much for that message. Well, that's all the time we have for the Consumer Hour this morning. Richie is on the line. I think Richie is there. So let me try to squeeze in Richie quick.
Good morning, Miss Genus.
Yes, Richie.
Other day, me a clip of somebody about Genus beside me here, but you just get it off right because he's a genius at the highest level.
Thank you so much, Richie.
You're welcome. So again, Mr. Panda's big breeze brother there, Nara. The flow system is down in our area. Met about into the region, even St. Elizabeth, because I have a friend down here. Up to this man, me talk to her. The service is down there, very bad. I think it was the 18th, I went to put service on my phone and whatever. And the system was down to a point where the guy couldn't put the service on the phone.
Yeah.
So I asked him what time he think he should be up in saying he learned that it should be about 6 o'clock. I'm going to come home without any service on my phone and go back the next day. As a matter of fact, I left my number with him. I said I've been in the town, and if the system will call me. And when I go back the next day, he could take up the number and just put the service on my phone. And what I did, I used the phone to make a call immediately. And it went through. And from that, no service from WhatsApp. The WhatsApp is down until now. Even this man that I said I talked to a lady in St. Elizabeth, and no WhatsApp service.
All right, remind me where you are again.
I mean, talk about the whole entire whole Harbour region, hoping this to St. Elizabeth. The whole region.
Whole Harbour to St. Elizabeth?
I say I have a lady friend in St. Elizabeth. She lives behind we're in St. Elizabeth.
Where are you? Where are you? Where are you, Richie? Where are you?
I'm in Old Harbour.
All right. So you can speak to the Old Harbour region.
Not only the region that I'm talking about, because I have people that I communicate with by Brownsall. Everybody complains the same way. Even this morning I talked to a lady in St. Elizabeth, and she said there's no WhatsApp down there.
All right. So Flo, in Old Harbour, at least in the Old Harbour area, and in some sections of St. Elizabeth, they're saying that they're unable to access WhatsApp and other online platforms. They say since the big breeze will blow over there, them now get nothing. So Flo, Old Harbour, some sections of St. Elizabeth, you must be aware of these issues, because someone must in your internal systems will tell you where is down and where is up. So I can't understand why people have to call national radio to draw attention to these things. But Flo, there you have it. That's all the time we have. Thank you so much for calling, Richie. We are coming to you live from the MJS Industrial and Technology Park. We're here for the official opening of this Industrial and Technology Park, and lots more to come during Cliff Hughes Online.
That was the Consumer Hour with Nora Gay Banton.
Tune in to Cliff Hughes Online from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on June 24 when Spanish Town